everybody has different tolerance for heat. So dice that one up real nice and small. Great. We'll add that. It's looking good. And this, again, is another great color contrast. I think I'm going to leave the seeds and the pith in this one just to make sure we have some heat in there. It's a little harder to cut with that in there. I'm going to dice that up real small. Great. Add that in. Lovely. I love we've got the green and yellow and red and the purple from the onions. So we are almost finished with this easy mango salsa. The next ingredient we're going to add is some lime juice. You always want to add lime juice to this. Adds a great flavor. And it also just kind of keeps everything, wow, my hands are getting slippery there. There we go. And we'll go ahead and squeeze some lime juice in there. And the reason I roll my lime on the cutting board before I squeeze the juice in is because I want to kind of get the juices going and soften it up. That really makes it easier to squeeze. And see how I'm squeezing it over my hand? I'm using my hand as a strainer and caught some seeds there. So we'll avoid getting seeds in our salsa. I'll do one more lime, the other half actually. There we go. I love the smell of lime. Yum. And the other nice thing about doing the lime last is it kind of kills the flavor of the onion that was on your hands when you were cutting it earlier. You just have this wonderful lime flavor on your hands. Okay. And my mouth is still burning from that jalapeno. Okay, now, 2 more ingredients. I've got some sea salt here, which you could use kosher salt or table salt, whatever you have on hand. I'm going to add, now sea salt is the least salty of the salts, so it may look like I'm adding a lot, but it really it won't be over salted, I'm pretty certain. Add a little bit more, and then I do need to taste it and make sure. Okay, and I'll add a little bit of black pepper in there. And this is ready to go. I'm actually going to grab a wooden spoon. Just so I'm going to use a wooden spoon so I'm not banging up against the glass, which is always louder on TV than I realize. There we go. Oh, this looks so wonderful. I wish you could smell all the wonderful flavors here. Have a little taste just to make sure we get our seasonings right. Oh yeah, that's great. Just the right amount of spice and salt and sweetness from the mango and tartness from the lime. It's a great combination. So let's set this aside and we'll get started on the seared salmon and the broiled asparagus. Now it's time to make the salmon and the asparagus. And I'm going to kind of be making these both at the same time, which is one of the great things about this meal is that you don't have to worry a lot about timing because both the salmon and the asparagus take about the same time to cook. So once you get them going, they finish about the same time and you're ready to eat. So let's start with the asparagus. I have here about 1/2 pound to 3/4 pounds of asparagus, which is plenty for 2 people. But you know, if you have some left over, save them for tomorrow and they'll be great. So what I've done already is I've cut off the ends of the asparagus. You can see that there. So they're a little bit shorter. An interesting thing about asparagus is that if you just, about 3/4 of the way down, you just break it, it breaks really easy, and that's the tough part. You don't want the tough part. And it's amazing how evenly these end up, because I'm not even measuring or anything. I'm just breaking about where the tough part is, and they just break right off. So don't worry about using a knife, just break and the tough part will break right off. Simple as that. And asparagus is great health-wise. It's got lots of vitamin C, lots of fiber, goes great with a lot of dishes. So this will be this is one of my favorite recipes because it's so simple. We're just gonna wash our asparagus. I'm gonna toss it with a little bit of olive oil, and then we're going to pop it in the broiler. There we go. I'm gonna coat it, keep it nice and moist, and I'll just kind of toss it with my hands like that. And then, so we'll get some of that oil off. Then I'll put some sea salt in again to season that asparagus. There we go. And some black pepper. Looks good. And that, my friends, is ready to go in the oven. Toss that up. And I've got a foil-lined cookie sheet. I always like to line my cookie sheets with foil because it makes for easy cleanup. You don't have to really worry about washing, or you may want to wash it, but at least it's not too hard to wash once you just pull the foil off. So these are ready to go. I'm going to take these over to the oven. I have it on broil, which is just usually about 450 or 500, and have the rack adjusted pretty close towards the top because when you're broiling, the heat is coming from the top. That's what broiling means. Baking means the heat's coming from the bottom. So let's head it over to the oven and put these in there. We're going to put them in there for about 4 minutes, and then take them out, kind of flip them, and put them back in for 4 minutes, and they should be plenty soft. So now it's time to start on the salmon. And what I've got here is some nice wild salmon in some individual pieces. I bought 3, even though this is dinner for 2. You never know. I might mess up one. Sometimes I like to just get an extra just in case. But we've got 3 pieces here. I had the fishmonger pull out the bones, but do be careful. There's sometimes bones in these salmon fillets. And I'm going to heat a nice non-stick skillet to about medium-high heat. You want it pretty high because I like that nice